Sleep training. Will it help a 3-month-old who has reflux? Hi, my name is Brooke. I'm one of the sleep consultants here at Little Ones, and I have 2 small children, Lennon, who is 3, and Nova, who is 5. A very common question we get asked here at Little Ones is if sleep training will help a baby sleep, especially if they have reflux. In short, the answer is no. When it comes to our baby's sleep, sleep training is usually our last resort. Sleep training is usually the last thing we look at because we need to make sure that our babies are set up for good sleep. Otherwise, they won't be able to learn the skills to self-settle and resettle. Before we start sleep training, we want to make sure that their awake windows are appropriate for their age, their nap lengths are appropriate for their age. We want a nice dark room. You can also have white noise that's playing continuously throughout the naps. Ensure that they are having good full feeds and that they are burped well after each feed. Make sure that they are dressed appropriate for the room's temperature, swaddled under 4 to 5 months old unless they're rolling, or in a sleeping bag if they are rolling. If all of these points are ticked off and your baby is still struggling to stay asleep, say they're waking after 10 to 20 minutes of their naps, then usually this is discomfort. So they could be having some trapped wind, or they have reflux where laying flat can exaggerate the symptoms. If your baby does have reflux, then you will need to try and manage this well so that they can sleep longer than that 10 to 20 minutes. Here are a few sleep tips to help babies with reflux. Reflux symptoms can vary between babies, but a lot of the time, babies who have reflux will wake very soon into their naps, especially if they're laying flat on their back. In order to get around this, you can do naps on the go in the pram, car or carrier, or allow your baby to sleep on you whilst you're still awake in a more upright position. This can alleviate some of that discomfort that your baby feels when they're laying flat. This is a good way to manage reflux while you try and look at other avenues to manage their reflux better. In order to get your baby's reflux well managed, you will need to see a medical professional. When it comes to feeding, make sure that your baby is feeding well before their naps are due. This will ensure that they have enough time to digest the milk before they are put to bed. For overnight sleep, make sure that your baby is following safe sleep guides. So they are sleeping in their own sleep space and they are sleeping on their back. If your baby is having a hard time going to sleep in the cot overnight, you can settle them to sleep on you. And once they are in that deep sleep phase around that 10 to 15 minute mark, you can then transfer them to the cot, making sure to put them in feet first so that they don't feel like they're falling. How to get a baby sleeping in their cot. The first thing we would look at is their sleep environment. Make sure that they have white noise, they are dressed appropriate for the room's temperature, they are swaddled if not rolling yet, or in a sleeping bag if they are rolling. Make sure the room is nice and dark, no light creeping in, and no night lights. Make sure your baby is following the correct awake windows for their age, and that they are sleeping the correct amount during the day. Ensure your baby is getting good full feeds and that they are well winded after each feed. Settle your baby in the cot. A lot of babies will wake while they are being transferred. So if you're settling your baby in your arms or on your chest, then you may need to try and settle them in the cot first. You can, of course, get them sleepy in your arms first and then put them in the cot and settle all the way to sleep. But ultimately, we want to make sure that they're falling asleep in the cot so that we don't have that wake once we transfer them. If you are putting them in the cot and settling them to sleep there, try for 5 minutes or so. And if they are getting upset, pick them up and calm them in your arms before trying again in the cot. Under 4 months old, persist for about 30 minutes. From 4 to 6 months old, persist for 45 minutes. At this point, our babies are generally too overtired to fall asleep using different methods. So getting them up, getting them to sleep however works, and trying again at the next nap is the best option. At the end of the day, consistency is key. Even if most of the time you're having to settle them in your arms anyway, they're getting familiar with that sleep environment and eventually they will settle there. You just need to keep trying every nap, every day, and soon it will click. I hope this video has helped, and if your baby has reflux, try and use some of these tips and tricks to get them through until their reflux is well managed. If you have any further questions, feel free to pop them in the comment box below and we'll be happy to answer them for you. For more baby and toddler sleep advice, make sure to follow our channel and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.